Okay, so our problem asks us to write a compound inequality given the graph on the number line. So just to make sure you can see this graph, we have an open circle here at 0, and we have an open circle at 6 with a filled in line in between. So there's three ways to go about writing this. On ALEKS, you're only going to have the compound way where we use and or. So we'll go ahead and start with that. We see the open circles mean that the numerical value of the variable can get closer and closer and closer to 0, but never actually reach 0. So it's not going to equal 0. It's got to be greater than. If it's to the right of, it's going to be greater than. And then we see the same thing here with 6. It will never actually reach 6. It can get closer and closer and closer to it, but will never actually reach 6. So it will never be equal to 6, but to the left of it says it's always less than 6. So we have two parameters here. Our variable x is greater than 0. So x is greater than 0, and we see that to the right as it gets more and more positive. However, once we reach 6, we see that x is less than 6. So we have x is greater than 0 and x is less than 6. And we could also write this. We could also write this in set builder notation, where we would say x such that, and then we would have the two numbers that x is sandwiched in between. 0 is less than x, which is also less than 6. Or we could write it in interval notation, which would just be parentheses 0, 6, saying that the parentheses, remember, does not include the number that it's next to. It goes from 0 to 6, but not including these two numbers. If we were to include the numbers, they would be brackets. And this is the three different ways that you can write this. However, on ALEKS, you're just going to be looking for this top way, that x is greater than 0 and x is less than 0, or less than 6, excuse me.